Adiós, pretérito. Hola, imperfecto. Recuerden que el imperfecto es el otro tenso del pasado de español y vamos a celebrar porque el imperfecto es tan fácil, muchísimo más fácil que el pretérito. Entonces, este es un repaso porque ustedes ya aprendieron el imperfecto en español 2. Primero, el imperfecto es el otro tenso en español para el pasado y el imperfecto es o está usado para describir algo que no fue completado en el pasado. El imperfecto es para describir acciones que fueron ongoing, recurring, or incomplete in el pasado. So notice the big difference here. A completed action is pretérito. Any other action that happened in the past that was ongoing, you don't know when it ended, recurring, meaning it happened more than once, or simply incomplete, it definitely did not have a completed ending to it, is going to be the imperfecto. Look for those clue terms, las palabras claves para saber cuándo usar el imperfecto. In English, used to and was or were plus ing. If it's going to be an action that you used to do, then you did it more than once. It was recurring. So that's going to be the imperfect. Same thing for you were listening to these notes. That's ongoing. That's incomplete. So imperfect. A big one, because a general mental state or physical sensation does not necessarily have a definite beginning or end. Mental states and physical sensations are generally, usually, usualmente expresados en el imperfecto. If you, for example, want to say that she was thinking about something or she felt cold all of a sudden, then many times that goes with the imperfect, but not always. This is a great song to help you remember the reasons to use the imperfect. It goes to the tune of Jingle Bells, and it goes like this. Imperfect, used to be, was were verb plus ing, habitual action in the past or interrupted by another thing. Oh, date and time, looks and clothes, weather and emotion, details of the main event, description, constant motion. So use this song, memorize it. It's extremely helpful for remembering when to use the imperfect. All of these are the reasons. For those of you who are not necessarily song people, or that's not how you best learn, maybe you best learn with acronyms. This is the acronym SHODAT, and it's for the imperfect. The reasons are S is for simultaneous actions. Look for the word while, like mientras. So for example, he was cleaning the house while she was watching TV. Both of those are going on at the same time, simultaneously. Both of those are in the imperfect. A habitual action, something that you used to do. So it was a habit, you did it more than once. I used to play soccer. That shows that it had to have happened more than once. Ongoing, was happening, in progress. He was walking to the park. Ongoing action, you don't see it as a completed action. The W stands for weather. When describing the weather, that's always done in the imperfect because it's not a completed action. You're just simply describing what was happening, which leads us to D for description, the biggest reason for imperfect, things that happened in the background, not the actions. A, telling someone's age. Again, that's not a completed action, so imperfect. And finally, telling time, using that verb ser in order to do so. Again, that's just part of description and background. These are all the conjugations of the imperfect. Remember, this is why the imperfect is so easy. AR endings, ER endings, and IR endings. AR endings. Aba, abas, aba. Abamos, acento aquí. Abais, aban. ERs and IRs son los mismos. Ia, ias, ia. Iamos, iais, ian. Look for patterns. Remember, when you're learning grammar, always look for patterns. Notice how the very end of these endings are exactly the same across the board. A, as, a, amos, 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 ice, on. And notice how similar those are to the AR endings in presente, o, asa, amos, aisan. With AR endings, we're adding in our abs. And with ER and IR endings, we add on the E con acento. Ejemplo, he was here when I was making the cake. He was here. That's not a completed action. You're simply describing something happening in the background. Él estaba aquí when I was making the cake. Again, not a completed action, something that was an ongoing action happening in the background. So cuando hacía el pastel. Y bien, en el imperfecto solamente hay tres verbos irregulares. Just three irregular verbs. Remember, in pretérito, we had so many irregular verbs. This is why the imperfecto es muchísimo más fácil, porque solamente hay tres verbos irregulares. Ir, ser, and ver. Ir to go, ser to be, ver to see. And even look at these irregular patterns. Notice how similar they are to the regular endings. Let's start with ir. Iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, iban. Aren't those almost exactly like the abas? Let's move over to ser. Era, eras, era, éramos, erais, eran. Again, notice how similar those are. Finally, ver really isn't that irregular. It's just that you don't chop off the E of the stem, and then you put on your ER endings. Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. Todos con acentos. Un ejemplo. When I was little, we used to go to the beach. Cuando era niño, girls, niña, íbamos a la playa. When I was little, this phrase always goes in the imperfect because you're just simply describing an indefinite amount of time. Cuando yo era, I was, niño, we used to go to the beach implies that it was a recurring action. It happened more than once, used to go. So ir en el imperfecto. Íbamos a la playa. Y es todo. Gracias. Adiós.